So I thought I was going to be able to come on and just play for a few minutes and see what I was doing, but I think I'm already live. Let me just open my YouTube on my phone so I can see what I'm doing. Hello, if you are there. I can see 6 likes. I don't know if anybody is here. This is all the dashboard is all different from the last time I did a live stream. In fact, if I remember that rightly, the last time I did a live stream, I did it on my phone, and that was not a big success. I think that's the only time I've been live on this channel. Right, let me just have a look and see. Yes, there we go. I am live. How is everybody? Who have we got? Happy New Year to everybody. I can see Tracy's in there. I can see another Happy New Year from, is it Abby H? Yeah, look, you're going to have to excuse me. My eyesight is rubbish. And as you can see, there's a lot of lights in here, but I am in Dotty. And I'm not going to say where I am. I'm on a campsite. Just dropped my hot water bottle. I'm at a campsite. I'm not going to say where I am, obviously. I've been vlogging today, so if you watch my next vlog, you'll see where I am. I tell you what, the writing on this live stream, YouTube live stream, is really small. I've got Jill. Hiya, Jill. Who else have we got? I think Gert is on. Hello, Gert, if you're about. Hello, Bev. Hope you're well. I'll have to dip out as my online shopping. That's all right. You've got to get your online shopping. That's far more important. Yes, Abby, watching you from my Peugeot partner TP and a McDonald's drive-through. Brilliant, brilliant. Excellent. Right, so I have no plan for this live stream. As if you've followed me for any length of time, you will know I do not do planning. Can you just give me a thumbs up if my volume is okay? I have got some headphones with a microphone plugged in if need be, but if you can give me a thumbs up if my volume is all right. So, hi Lorraine. Oh my word, the chat's flying. Hello Lorraine. Hello Susan. Got your cuppa and cheese and crackers ready. I haven't got any cheese and crackers. I have got. Do you like my new video where I bought Poppy the kettle, my red and white spotty kettle? This is to go with her. Okay, on sound. That's good. That's good. Fabulous. There's a little bit of buzzing in the background. I think that buzzing is probably the fact that it is hammering it down. And of course I'm in a metal box, so what you can probably hear, possibly hear, is the rain. I've turned the heater off because it was making a lot of noise. Ah, yeah, right. So only I would decide to go for a camping trip for the first time in the new year on the day of a big storm. It's got a French name. I've been vlogging about it today and I can't remember the name of it. What's the storm name? Can anybody tell me? I've been trying to remember it. I know it begins with a G, but Storm Goretti. Goretti. Yeah, only I would come out for my first trip in a storm. But I did, I don't know if anybody remembers the vlog I did where I went up and I stayed in my friend's field, my friend Tony's field up near Louth in Lincolnshire. And that night was meant to be Storm Benjamin, and it was meant to be horrific. And he suggested I didn't go. And as it happened, the weather was fine. So I'm taken on the thought that maybe maybe I'm just lucky and I avoid the bad weather. I'm not totally. I am pretty disorganised, but I did check the weather forecast, and it looks like the worst of it is going to hit the southwest and the West Midlands. And looking at the weather forecast, I don't think I'm going to get the really, really bad bit where I am. But I'm all hunkered down. Look, I've got my hot water bottle. These are brilliant. I got this from Cancer Research. And it's like, I'm not even looking at the chat. Let me have a look and see what else we've got. or who else we've got. Um, there's a lot of hellos going on. Ah, do you know what? Tony is a lovely friend. He was so good. Shopping's there for Jill. Ah, right. Yes. So as I say, I haven't really got anything planned to chat about in particular. So if you've got any questions, stick them in the chat, and I will answer any questions you've got. If it's about Dotty, if it's about my plans, I have got my little notebook because I'm 60 in just over a week's time. That sounds surreal when I say it, and I've decided to make a list of 60 mini goals to achieve in the next 12 months. So I might share some of those with you. Uh, yeah, I don't know if Tony's actually got the planning permission yet to open the field up properly. Um, I think the plan is to try and go live with it later this year, so I would imagine probably from March onwards. When I find out when it's up and definitely running, I'll let everybody know because it's a fabulous little location right on the coast, right, really close to some really nice beaches. Um, let's have a look. Hiya, Judy. Wild and windy in Hampshire. I bet it is. You're right down on the south coast, aren't you? So absolutely going to just stay safe. You know, that's the main thing when the weather's so bad. Have you tried using your heater with your power station yet? I'm wondering if it works all right. So yes, interestingly, the blog I did today is all about my heating. So I have got that little 600-watt heater that I plug into the power station. I mean, it would plug in and it would work, I would think, with a power boost on my 600-watt Bluetti, but it wouldn't work for long. Anything that generates heat is going to drain your power really, really quickly. So with the power bank, I've also got a 2000-watt Jackery. I think it's the 2000 V2 Explorer, and I can run the little 600-watt heater. I can pretty much make it last the evening, but it's not on constantly because it's such a small space. I can put it on, it heats the area, and then it gets a bit too hot, so I turn it off. But to be honest, I wouldn't trust the Jackery to have the heater going all night. I'm on hookup tonight, so I've got trust the Jackery to have the heater going all night. I'm on hookup tonight, so I've got every angle covered. I've got the Jackery, I've got the Bluetti, and I've got electric hookup. So I have when I'm on hookup, I know that the 600-watt heater will work absolutely fine. With the Jackery, you've got to be really careful and make sure that you haven't got it running all of the time. And when it's really cold like this, I honestly don't know how much I would trust it. But what I also bought just in the last week is this, which is I just got it from Lidl, and it's either 1,000-watt or 2,000-watt, and I haven't tried that with a power bank, but that's just a little bit more effective in here when it's really cold. Over the Christmas and New Year period, we went up to Lincolnshire for an overnighter. So I was in our big van Roxy with Mark. I drove Dotty up to the campsite, and my daughter Amy stayed in Dotty, and then my son had a like a glamping pod, like a shepherd's hut type thing. He had heating in his pod. We had heating in Roxy because we were on hookup, but Amy wasn't on hookup, and she was using the electric um, ceramic electric plug-in heater, and she lost power from the Jackery at 4 o'clock in the morning. Bless her, she was perishingly cold. So I've got a bigger one now in case. So when I'm on hookup, I can stay warm. That was a long-winded answer, wasn't it? I hope that answered your question. Where am I? Susan saying, how far would travelling Dottie, like, where would be the furthest? I'm not sure if I'd bother taking her to Europe, um, only because I think Roxy our big van would be a much better option overseas. You know, Europe's so much better, I think, set up. She says, like, I've never taken a van to Europe. We're going, I'll tell you about set up. She says, like, I've never taken a van to Europe. We're going, I'll tell you about that in a minute or two. But I probably wouldn't take Dottie across to Europe. I'd take Roxy. But I definitely want to do Scotland dinner. And I would love to do Scotland dinner sometime this year. Probably late summer, just before we get into autumn. I would love to. I used to holiday up on the Black Isle on the east coast of Scotland, or just above Inverness, when I was a kid, and I lived in the Outer Hebrides for 18 months when I was in my early 20s, and I just love Scotland. So a goal of mine would be to take her up to Scotland. But yeah, I think I'd stay within the British Isles. I don't think I'd take her into Europe, but I trust her. I would trust her to take her abroad. I just think Roxy would be better suited to take it overseas, I think. What else have we got? I'm here, but it's very... oh my God, Daisy, you're in Australia. Be early. I am very, very grateful to you for getting on now. What time is it? It must be painfully early. I don't do early mornings. Um, let's hope I don't put you to sleep, unless you want to fall asleep. I won't mind if you do. It is about having lots of different ways to keep yourself warm. So if one fails, you've got backups. Hello, Brian. That's my brother. Happy New Year, everyone, from Cyprus. Is that how you say Happy New Year in Cypriot? Kalikronia? Kalikronia? Jill's back. I love that you've got your husband and the boys putting all your shopping away. That's just how it should be. Hopefully they'll be making you dinner as well. Sarah Sheba, I bought a heated blanket and that worked well with my power station. It took 50% overnight. I've not used this overnight. I've not needed to so far. If yours is similar, it has 9 settings. I'm on 4 at the minute. It does have a timer that cuts out, so I think you can keep it on overnight. It's plugged into the Bluetti at the minute, even though I'm on electric hookup, just because the Bluetti is closer. I've got a 15 tog quilt, and that normally, with layers on, is enough for me to stay warm. So I don't normally need this. However, tonight is probably likely to be the coldest night I've had, although it was pretty cold when I was up in Northumberland about a month ago. But I did all right. It wasn't that bad. Brian and I were up there. I don't know if you saw those videos where I was with my brother up in Northumberland. But I didn't. My blankets, my quilt is warm enough. So let's have a look. Abby's bought a heated seat cover for the driver's side, plugs into the cigarette lighter. I've also bought a spare to try it on the bed. I have seen those. I'd love to know how you get on with it. Plugs into the jackery, less power than the electric blanket. Let me know how you get on, because they really do look interesting. I'm always a bit funny about anything made of electricity. Anything that has electricity that you have to lie on. So I'm a bit funny about electric blankets. And I know they're absolutely fine. They wouldn't be on sale if they weren't safe. But, sometimes you get a mindset thing about things. You're probably right, actually, Brian. I was being facetious earlier about the rain. It possibly is from the jackery. Is that buzzing? Is it too distracting? Because I can probably turn a couple of bits off. Ideally, I don't want to. So if it's manageable, I'll leave it going. thank you. But Roxy is lovely. I mean, they are, between Dottie and Roxy, they are like polar opposites. We we did invest a lot of money in Roxy. We were very lucky to come into a little bit of money. Well, not a little bit, quite a nice chunk of money, and we weren't sure what we were going to do with it. And we knew we loved camper vanning, and we thought, right, we're only going to do this one, so let's buy what we want. So Roxy is pretty much sort of top end camper van. You can certainly get more expensive if you go to like Mercedes Sprinters and four-wheel drive off-roaders and things like that. But she was pretty high end, and we love it a bit. She does absolutely everything we want. She is like our perfect camper van. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got Dottie, which is, she's so makeshift. My mum used to have a saying, makeshift and mend. Um, and she's definitely makeshift and mend. But I love them both, and if you had to ask me which one I love most, I would be really hard pushed to tell you, because they bring so much, but different things. On my own, I just love being cocooned in Dottie. She is, I don't know, she's just like my safe space. And Roxy is just, perfect for when Mark and I want to go away. So it's really interesting that we've got both ends of the scale. I don't know how many Dotties you could buy with one Roxy. It would be a lot, but they have different needs. They meet different needs. Let me just go back up onto the chat and see what else we've got. I was saying, will you take your dogs abroad? Yeah, they're coming with us. So we are heading off to the mainland continent, mainland Europe, on the 19th of January, which is my birthday. I turned 60 on the 19th of January, which scares me a little bit when I say it. So we're travelling down to Dover on the 18th. When my daughter finishes work, she's a nurse, and she finishes shift about 8 o'clock on the 18th, which I think is a Sunday, I think. So when she gets home, we'll jump in Roxy and we'll head down to Dover. We'll sleep somewhere near Dover overnight, and then we're getting the ferry across to Calais. And then we're going to have a few days driving down through France and into Spain, and we're going to head to Barcelona. And the dogs, they certainly are coming with us. To be honest, that was one of the main reasons Mark and I got into camper vanning, was because we wanted to have holidays where we could easily take the dogs with us. They hate being in kennels. We hated putting them in kennels. We absolutely love going on cruises. Let me just have a swig of the tea before it goes cold. We absolutely love going on cruises. But if we do go on a longer cruise, we have to put the dogs in kennels, or we do have house sitters that sometimes come to the house and sit. But we like having the dogs around us. We love having them with us. So a big reason for getting Roxy, or Pete as it was, our first van, was so that we could always take the dogs with us. It's a bit of a faff getting the dogs into Europe. We got them a pet passport when we went across to Ireland in June, which means that we don't have to worry about animal health certificates and all of that faff, because it is so expensive. But it's still a bit of a faff taking them to Europe in the van, but it's way, way better than leaving them behind. So, yeah, absolutely, we will take the dogs wherever we can. One day I'll bring them into Dottie, and they can come with me camping. It's a very small space to have two dogs, and I don't particularly like separating them because they get on so well, and they kind of fret a bit if the other one's not there. But I would like to bring probably Lucy away with me in the van. You've just reminded me, actually, when I was doing my vlog earlier about all of the different ways that you can keep warm in a van. I definitely think having one or both dogs with me would be a great way to keep warm at night, because they definitely take up quite a bit of bed. I'll come up to the Hebrides in the caravan with you. That would be brilliant. So let me tell you guys that, so I lived in the Outer Hebrides. I lived in a place called Benbecula, which is a tiny little island between North and South Uist. And I lived there for 18 months from 1987 to 1988. I was very young. And my brother, Brian, who's on this chat, it's before I was there, all to do with the military. That's why, we weren't sort of separated at birth or anything like that. He was in the Air Force, and I was married to my previous husband, was also in the Air Force. Mark was in the Air Force too. And Brian was up in the Outer Hebrides for the 18 months before I got there. We had about 3 weeks when we were there together. And it's really odd, because I always thought the Outer Hebrides was going to be cold and wet and windy. And the first week I got there in, I think I got there in June, and it was about 90 odd degrees Fahrenheit, and I was sunbathing because I was very young on the beach in Benbecula, which was bizarre. It did get very wet and windy after that, but yeah, we definitely had some good weather. Scotland sounds a good choice. We'll definitely look forward to that. So will I. I'm really excited to do that. 4 a.m. in Brisbane. Daisy, you are amazing. Thank you so much. You should be asleep. I love my hot water bottle and quilt in my camper. Only set -3 Celsius though. That's still cold, isn't it? It's still cold. Let's have a look. I think you're bonkers being in Dutty tonight, Deb. No, you see, I feel incredibly safe in it. I'm warm, I'm comfortable. I've got Maltesers, I've got a bottle of wine. What more do you want? I've got you lovely people keeping me company. I can't think of anything I'd rather be doing. I think this is a throwback to when I used to have caravan holidays up on the Black Isle in Scotland when I was a little girl. I love the sound of rain on the roof of a caravan, on the roof of a camper van, on the roof of Dotty. I find it really soothing. And in my last video, I talked about a Sleep Sounds machine that Mark had bought me for Christmas, and I didn't have it to hand. I've got it here now. And one of the sleep sounds on that is the sound of rain, and it sounds like rain on a caravan, and I love it. So, yeah, I don't think I'm mad at all, Tracy. I think it's the best place to be in a storm. What else have we got? Jill's asking, are you going to do any more modifications in Dotty? Yes. There's a few. I've just lost your comment. There we go. I've been gifted a product. I don't want to talk about it here because it may or may not come to fruition, but I've been gifted a product that will, if I can get it to work, which I'm having a few problems with at the minute, will be quite a big modification. Oh, I'm doing that teasy thing that I hate people doing, but I don't want to say what it is in case it doesn't come about. But that will probably be one of the biggest modifications we've done in terms of actually digging into the workings of the car to get something fitted. I'm also really debating whether to put in a B2B charger. Bluetti it's called the Bluetti 1. I think they're just bringing out the Bluetti 2, and it's basically it's like a split charger. So when you're driving, the Bluetti 1 will charge your power bank while you're driving. At the minute, I can plug it into the 12-volt socket, but it takes forever to charge the power bank. So to enable me to kind of, especially if I go up to Scotland, I definitely want to see more about going off-grid in Scotland. It just feels like it would be easier. I'm just starting to feel the van rock a little bit, so I'm guessing Storm Goretti is getting up. But I would quite like to get another, probably the Bluetti 1800 watt power station and the Bluetti 1, and have it permanently rigged up in Dotty. And that would be effectively like my leisure battery, it would be my inverter and everything in one. That way the Jackery can just stay in Roxy because it is pretty heavy, and every time I come away in Dotty, or Roxy were kind of moving it between the two vans. I just have to kind of decide whether it's financially worth doing, I guess, because it's probably going to be a good few £100 to buy a new power bank. They are coming down in price, to be honest, to get a new power bank and the sort of split charger thing, the Bluetti one. I think Bluetti, as far as I'm aware, are the only company that do this sort of B2B charger for specifically for a power bank. The other thing I would like to do is, if I do that, I'd probably like to put a bit of solar on the roof. Again, it opens up that off-grid capability for me, and one of the things I really want to push towards this year is getting more confident being off-grid and wild parking. I have such a mindset issue about it. My imagination runs riot, and I'm very aware that the chances of something happening are so slim. I just need to get out there and do it. There's loads of women living in their vans, wild parking all the time, but I've got this kind of fear. It is a fear that I need to get over. So I've kind of got off tangent a little bit there, Jill. I hope that answered your question. But yeah, there are some modifications. I just need to get this one that I'm trying to figure out at the minute figured out, because it's driving me nuts. Let's have a quick look. There's so much chat. I love this. Thank you so much for coming and joining me and chatting. Right. Tracy's saying to Sarah that you're bonkers too. It sounds like an electric interference noise. Might be the mic itself. Not too bad though. Thank you. I haven't got the best setup, to be fair, in Dotty. You have got good Wi-Fi tonight though, which I'm pleased about. Eliza Doolittle, you are not late. You are welcome anytime. Hello. Be your dream to have a Roxy. Well, it's our dream as well, and I'll be honest, I didn't think we'd ever be in a position to afford one. But we had, as I say, we had this bit of money come to us, and there's a million ways we could have spent it, but we thought really long and hard about what would give us the most joy, I suppose. And I'm a massive sort of believer that life is very short, and you've got to get to a point where you start shifting your perspective a little bit away from saving and putting by and being safe and secure, and actually putting your resources into enjoying life. Because, and I think it comes from the fact that my mum was very young when she died. She was only, I get these two wrong, I never know the exact ages, and Brian will kind of correct me, but I think my mum was 54 when she died, and my dad was 63 or 64. Very, very young, way too young, and they never really got to do the things that they should have been able to do when my dad retired. So I think I have, my brother's the same. Brian is 5 years older than me, but he's just uprooted and gone to live in Paphos in Cyprus, because life is just too short. And yeah, that was kind of why we got Roxy. Sorry about the buzzing. I do bloody love this car. I absolutely do. Thanks for the birthday wishes, Jill. I still can't believe it's 60. Don't know how that's happened. There seems to be a mushrooming number of channels for every conceivable hobby and project. Do you monitor those? Do you try and find a niche for your content? Yours is the best, thank you. I've been on YouTube now for 3 or 4 years, probably three and a bit years, and I really struggled to find the niche until this channel. If any of you have followed me, I know Tracy's been around for quite a while. My other channel was everything. It never had a niche. I guess I was the niche, and as my life changed, it changed as well. And although it did grow, it took a long time to grow. And I don't even post on there anymore. Our other channel with Mark and I, again, it hasn't really got a niche. It's just us two living our lives and recording it. This is the first channel, I suppose, that's had a specific niche. And even then, I mean, it started off just me showing the build of Dotty, and I always knew it was going to be a blog channel and my sort of adventures, hence the name. But yeah, this is the first one that's really taken off. Certainly taken off this quickly. But I think you do have to have a niche. And Tracy, who's on here, Mini Scenes GB, her channel is all about crafting, particularly resin, and hers blew up very quickly again, I think because have I just lost a bit of light? Hopefully it's not too dark in here. Again, you know, because there's a specific niche. I don't monitor a lot of niche channels. I only really watch the ones that I'm interested in. So I do watch an awful lot of micro camper content. Um, I don't know if any of you watch Emma from Maggie the Caddy. I like hers. Ladybug is another one. I'm trying to think of. I watch loads of van life channels, not just micro campers, but I love Camper Vibe, the girls from Camper Vibe, who don't really do a lot of van life now. They're restoring a cottage in Ireland. I like oh my god, there's so many I can't even think of them off the top of my head. But yeah, I do watch a lot of. I think you've got to watch channels in the niche that you're creating in, partly for inspiration, and also just because it's what I'm interested in, really. Right, let me turn the Jackery off for 10 seconds. I have to say, if I turn the Jackery off though, my electric blanket's going to turn off.